Well, it's time for our weekly lap of the fish room. And at the risk of making you dizzy, let's go ahead and take one quick lap of the fish room and look at all the tanks, see how they're doing, and give you any updates. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's start with this little Pleco grow out tank. A few of them are out there today. Usually they all scatter and go inside this piece of wood, which is hollow. I think even one of the big ones is out there on the side. This has bushy nose, has albinos, has some snowballs in there. Just an assortment of them, and about 5 or 6 of them have been farmed out to the other tanks, now that they're putting on size. Let's go ahead and check out the 210-gallon South and Central American tank. I love looking at tanks from the side. You get that depth. This tank was just serviced, so it might appear a little cloudy. You can see the fish are doing great. I had a red scrub brush on top of the tank, and this Oscar jumped up and tried to bite it. So if I ever go fishing for Oscar, I know what kind of lure to use. Oh, here comes the albino. Oscars are doing great. The female Jack Dempsey. 2 chocolates are still in here. They've actually started to hold their own more recently and been eating more aggressively. So I don't know, I'm tempted to just leave them in here. It's the big vieja being shy. Could be at least 10 inches, I think. Colors on that Nicaragua today are really, really nice. You can see the Nicaragua back there. There she is. Was just doing her usual face-off with the firemouth. There's that firemouth I picked up locally. Salvini loves her cave. She's got 2 of them. She's bi-coastal. Let me get a better look at the vieja. But she jumps from this cave, she jumps from that cave, and then she'll work her way across the tank and then get into the cave that's back here. These caves are from my friends over at Underwater Galleries. This driftwood continues to float. It's getting a real nice little patch of green algae right there, which is perfect because that's where the big Pleco lives. So he probably just sticks his head out and gets a snack, and then gets right between those 2 pieces of wood again. The 55-gallon, business as usual. The little loaches, the coolie loaches are in their caves. You can see one of those little Plecos. There's 2 of them in here. There's one of them. This Expertmatic internal filter continues to work very, very well. Very happy with its performance overall. And the silver dollars are hiding behind the plant here, but they're going to be moving out in about 5 days. Their quarantine is going to be over. They're all eating well, swimming around well, looking good. So they're all going to be going over to the probably the 90-gallon and hooking up with the other 2 silver dollars and the other 2 larger silver dollars in there. Hopefully they'll all get along. There they are. Here's the planted tank. Fish are looking really, really good. Those Buenos Aires tetras are really getting some pretty markings and color on their bodies. I think they are the ones though that nip away at the swords. See, this sword here by this quarry was just worked down to a nub but it seems to be coming back. It's got some new shoots, so I'm just going to leave it alone. Crypts are doing well. The Nubius are doing fine. Red Serpa's looking good. Rummy Nose looking good. We love the way they school. There's that whiptail, or that twig catfish. He's been more out in the open recently. He's getting a little more bold. Look at the way the snail has sort of wedged himself in that rock there. Beautiful pagoda snail. Lemon Tetra is looking good. Just to the right of the 55, we have the 90-gallon. I moved the plant over to the right side for those of you with a good memory. Give them a little variety. That big electric blue Ochart. He's an older fish that I inherited from somebody here in Nashville. Just a beautiful old guy. He's got to be maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 inches. These silver dollars, you can see, are a lot bigger than the babies, but they should all get along. I love the shape of a geo. The slope on the head, the long pectoral fins, just the way the fins taper. So red spotted Severum, being brave. And I've got my little green terror back there who jumped out today. I had the lid off. I have to flip the lid at least once a week because it starts to slope down. This is a little plexi lid on the top of this rimless tank. So I took it off to flip it, and this green terror decided to take a flight. A pretty hard slam on the floor, but it sounded a lot worse than it was. I made sure that my hands were wet. Always make sure your hands are wet when you pick up fish, so you don't remove their slime coat. But I put him back in, and he's totally no worse for the wear, so seems okay. AC Heckelei right in the middle there. The red shoulder tends to be real shy when I film. Every now and then he'll come to the front, but usually he hangs out by the back. And now with that plant back there, it gives him a nice hiding spot. But there is a red shoulder Severum in here. Take my word for it. Back there somewhere. All the fish you see here in this 29-gallon quarantine are going to be moved out within 5 days. They're all doing great, eating well, trying to breed, as you can see there with the guppies. There's like 2 on 1 there. Come on, guys, let her catch her breath. That's why you want to have like 3 or 4 females for 1 male. Otherwise they run the poor gals into the ground. But these neons are going to be going over, and being part of that other group, so I'll have 10 neons in there. Can't wait to see that. Watching 10 neons school around is going to be very cool. For those of you who don't know, this is an old school Sarah pump. Just a big sponge. Comes off very easily. Rinses out. It's being run by a cobalt lithium battery pump that will run for about 48 hours in the event of a power outage. And then I've got an Expert Matic back here. I'm running 2 chambers instead of 3. And there's one of those little Plecos. See him right there. Brought over from that little tank. For those of you who breed Plecos, you know what I'm talking about when I say they're probably the cutest fish when they're fry. Just very, very cute. So over here in the planted, my water Sprite farm, this is where the guppies are going to go. Already has a lot of little fry in here. I estimate about 10 of them. a couple cories, and there's also a Pleco running around there somewhere. You can see these guys are all popping. Great colors on these platies. And these mollies are going to be moving into there, so hopefully they won't eat all the fry. But these platies are going to go, these lyre tails. Look at the male has really blossomed. There's 3 females in there and 1 male. And his tail, his lyre tail, is just really streaming. So he has really, really gotten healthy since I got him. I'm just hoping they don't wipe out all the fry when I bring them over. We'll see. Hey, one of the loaches are out. There's a Coley loach. See back there he is. Coley loach. There's going to be 3 of them on this side. And then I'm going to have a couple Plecos on each side, little baby Plecos, just as a cleanup crew. This red velvet. If you notice the very tips of his pec fins there, his pectoral fins are, very tips are white, like somebody dipped them in white paint. And then the very end of his tail is translucent. It's like he loses all pigment at the very end of his tail. This one shares the duplex with him. Very pretty fish. Yeah, sometimes they face off here at the divider. People ask me if that causes stress, and all I know is I've been seeing bubble nests, and that's always an indication that the fish are happy. So I don't think it's causing too much stress. Hey, Cooley, you're gonna have a couple buddies in a few days. All right, let's move over here to the 300-gallon African Cichlid tank. Everybody's doing well in here. Here's the Insignis. Love the way that body goes from a dark blue to a kind of an orangey red at the bottom. There's the Livingstoni. He's got some blotches on his body, and that's a good sign. That means he's not too fired up. I did put a little bit of fresh water in the tank today. Autopharynx tetrastigma, looking good. Love the yellow on this Venusus. It's like a bright light. The 2 little runts of the tank are the bicolor 500, a peacock actually, and this Protomelis, a Taiwan reef. Really cute little fish. Here's that big Buccochromis rhodesii yellow. Just a big brood of a fish and getting bigger. The Spectabilis, first cousin of the eye biter. There's the star of the tank, the trout. That crazy mouth on that gar. Crazy looking fish. Totally designed for eating fry that are wedged between rocks. Here's the Fusco. Fusco's looking great. Great egg spots on that Fusco. Seems to be getting along fine with the other Nimbochromis in the tank. Doesn't really get into it with the Livingstoni or the Venusus. Turquoise hap. Here's the eye biter. My fish from Mars. If the lighting looks a little bit different, it's because I'm using sunlight at 50%. That's one of the settings of this light in the front here of the tank. The All Best Fish Light. That's 50% sunlight. It's controlled with my phone with an app. Little tangerine tiger there. So that pretty much wraps up the complete lap of the fish room. Hope you enjoyed the update. Any questions, go ahead and just ask them below. Maybe I'll release this as a standalone video, we'll see. And if you're watching this as a standalone video, don't forget to sub, hit the bell, hit the thumbs up, and consider supporting the channel by becoming a Patreon supporter. $3 a month. Starts as low as $3 a month, and it really helps out. All right, let's go ahead and wrap up this lap of the fish room.